Hi, are you Dusty?
Nope.
Huh? No?
This script is one of the first projects that we even listened to when we started Gary Sanchez Productions. So myself, Adam McKay, Chris Henchy, and buddy of Chris Henchy's Brian Burns is the writer, and he came and he pitched basically this story in which he was the dad to his wife's 2 kids, and the biological father kept coming in and out of their lives with all of these crazy antics.
You must be the new and improved husband. Come on, bring it in, big guns.
Brian and I worked at Entourage, and we had dinner together one night. And so he's telling the story, what a dad goes through when real dad shows up, who, you know, is a hero at every turn.
My dad can bring people back from the dead. Mr. Whitaker's a zombie!
As a person deal with that, it just seemed to provide a lot of comedy, a lot of heart, and a lot of fun.
It went through a bunch of different versions and a bunch of different actors and who would play which role and whether I'd play the Dusty character or the Brad character, and finally it got kind of a 5th or 6th life with Mark's name being attached.
We already met at the airport.
I don't recall that, friend.
Yeah, I walked right up to you and asked if you were Dusty.
No, I'm pretty sure I remember a heavy hitter like yourself.
Brian Burns actually worked on Entourage for quite some time, so I knew about the script for a while. It was mentioned, but then we never really heard about it again. Next thing you know, they called and said, hey, would you like to work with Will again? And I just thought there was so many funny things. It's such a well-written script, and then to know that it's loosely based on what really went on with Brian Burns was a whole other thing.
Brad's being racism?
Racist, honey. Brad is a racist.
Honey?
Is Brad a Klan person?
Possibly.
No, honey.
The step-parent has always been vilified in a way. It's the evil stepmom, the evil stepdad. But we're totally turning the tables in the sense that Brad is the sweetest guy ever who's so into being a dad.
Oh my God, the kids' lunches.
Already packed. I wrote them little inspirational notes to start them on their day, and you look perfect.
You are amazing.
Brad is just full of heart. He is all goodness. He never has a bad thing to say about anybody. He always finds the best thing in any situation.
Another family drawing.
Oh no, I am so sorry.
No, I think you're misunderstanding. This is the first drawing where I'm not dead already.
He just wants children to love him and accept him as a dad. Which then, of course, there's a wrench thrown in it when Dusty comes along.
But there's someone here now that I hope you guys can learn to love.
Wait, you brought home a dog?
You seemed really into it while I was teeing it up.
No, I thought you were talking about me.
Oh, but you're not a dog, Brad.
The Dusty character was a little bit crazier in the other versions. We felt like Dusty would be more of a threat if he was this really cool dad.
Hey, Brad, have you ever seen this movie? It's incredible, man. It's these 2 sisters. One of them's got ice powers.
No, I'm very familiar with Frozen, Dusty.
It's incredible, man.
We never pictured Mark as the Dusty character, and yet now that we've done the movie, I can't imagine anyone else doing it.
You figured it out, didn't you? You cracked the code.
I don't know about that.
No, don't play that humble game with me.
He's so humble. He's just too humble. Honey, you got it going on. Everybody says so.
Yeah, I got it going way on.
Will is a bit more of, you know, a house cat, you know, and Mark is a bit more of a lion.
It's where I keep my tools.
Oh, you got a hammer, 3C batteries, and a tampon.
Yeah, it's handy for...
Yeah, I know what it's handy for.
Wait, so we're not gonna fix it?
Will's character is maybe not the most manly guy in the world, and then you had Mark's character, on the other hand, who's very manly and cool and kind of, you know, good at everything.
Remember when I said he was like Jesse James and Mick Jagger had a baby?
Yeah, I just thought maybe he was really skinny and jittery and had like a little bit of a British accent or something.
Dusty is a rock star, a superhero, you know, the coolest, most charismatic person ever.
Hey, man, where you been?
You have Brad competing with that, but it comes down to who's really there and what their hearts are made of. Dusty has an arc where he comes from being unreliable to possibly somebody who could stay in their lives.
Look, I was determined to push you out and get my family back. I was underhand and disingenuous about it, and I feel terrible.
You know, he had every opportunity in the world to be there, but he just couldn't commit, and he still wouldn't be back unless this other guy wasn't in his wife's life and his kid's life. He still wouldn't come back. And now he really just wants to challenge this guy and win over his family again.
I can ride, okay? Would you get a shirt on?
I think if you could ride, you wouldn't be stuck in a wall right now, Brad.
Yeah, honey, I hate to say it, but he's right.
Linda's kind of the unsung hero of this movie because she had a really hard part to play. She had to walk this very fine line where she had to play a grounded version of this mother character.
Yay! Brad, how can we afford a pony? Where are we even gonna put that thing?
I can clean out some stable space in the garage.
But she couldn't be such a mother that she would not allow the antics of the movie to take place.
I'm 100% happy with the family that I have. The only reason I'm putting up with him is because my kids are so happy to see him. And I want them to have a relationship with their father.
She has to stand by her husband, but she also has to allow ex-husband in enough to be a presence with the kids. So I think for a good part of the movie, she has to sit back and referee and let this steel cage match take place. And just go, okay, and then she's got to step in at the right time, and she has to figure out when to do that.
Honey, you need to calm down.
No, I'm not gonna calm down. She asked me first, and now she's asking him? It's not fair.
You know what, actually, it's very fair, okay? She has two dads. She wants you both there. You just have to accept that. But she gets fed up with both of them, you know? She's in the middle of all these crazy hijinks and competition, which is, you can't really, truly compete for anybody's love.
Yeah, let's just go down. Let's just enjoy the...
No! I think you should sit in your $18,000 seats and think of all the better ways that your family could have used that money.
We wanted Sarah to have some teeth and to show this toughness to her, because I think you'd have to be tough to have had a previous relationship with a real character like Dusty.
What are you doing?
I'm comforting you.
She'd obviously spent a lot of time with Dusty and been dragged through the ringer many times, so she's hip to his tricks, but, you know, it doesn't prevent him from trying. You know, he's gonna give it everything he's got.
Are you sure you don't need company right now? I mean, you're going through a tough transition here.
Be here at 6:30 tomorrow morning.
Well, can I at least come in and get my stuff?
No!
Hey, I'm Sean Anders, director of Daddy's Home. We're on the set of Daddy's Home at the airport.
Sean he's just a powerhouse.
We'll take the turn at the end of the run, and we'll still be on you guys for the turn.
We got really close to doing another movie with Sean and his partner John Morris, and then this came around and they were available and they loved the premise, and they did a great job with firming the spine of the story, because we always had jokes, but they really gave it an emotional component.
Hey, Will, start with the Step King, but the Step King reminded the King, okay?
So conscientious with how everyone's feeling and doing, and sends you an email on Sunday describing everything that's going to happen throughout the rest of the week. I've never worked with a director like that. He really puts so much thought into every moment and has great ideas on top of it. At the same time as if something's not working for us, has no ego about, you know, changing it up.
This might make a better sort of button for like nope if we get a big laugh there, and then we come back to you.
Always thinking about the movie. He doesn't stop thinking about the movie. He's constantly thinking about what shots and stuff like that, but he does it with a gentle hand and even hand, and so he's been great. And again, a great guy to hang out with, so we were lucky to get him, and it's kind of all worked out.
Point it. What's the matter? You can't take me without your little friends? Pointing at the friends, okay?
It's so fun to watch him direct the kids because he's so delicate and sweet and so genuinely excited about everything. I don't know, I feel like Sean's the type of person you feel like you've known, like you feel like you grew up with him or went to high school with him or something. It's just a really nice way about him.
Can I see, like after you stand up?
McKay, and then we're basically saying how cool he was and how easy he is to work with. But smart, you know, he understands that at the core of it, there's real heart to the story. And, you know, as much as we want to push the envelope with the humor and the edginess and the humor, we also want to make sure that, you know, we're hitting those dramatic moments.
Dusty Mayron, you crazy son of a bitch!
Yo, Doc!
Come on!
Oh,
Get
man.
it! Ah!
Great, man!
I'm such a huge fan of Bobby. I think he's so good in everything that he does. His fertility doctor, Dr. Francisco, is so ridiculous.
You must be Chief Glowing Sack. What? Hey, I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just busting you. They already busted. What?
Super irreverent fertility doctor who is borderline kind of lewd with my wife and very dismissive to me.
Jesus, in the morning. She was married to him first? Okay, listen here, sugar tits. Listen up, pretty boy. Listen here, handsome. Listen up, ball slapper.
Thomas Hayden Church, fantastic. You know, I only got to do one scene with him, but, you know, he's someone I've always been a fan of.
Hey, you must be Roger.
Nope. We have a really funny button at the end of the movie where Mark's new wife is Alessandra, and then her ex-husband is John Cena.
That's already funny.
You know, we had to find someone that even Mark Wahlberg would look and feel intimidated by.
fiddling around, get the wingamajigs?
He gave me the wingamajigs, man.
It was funny, the first day that we did camera tests and those guys were standing next to each other, everybody was laughing. It was already funny. They just inhabited their characters.
Wait, daddy-daughter dance.
Breathe.
There you go. Wow. I look great.
Other guys, we had a great time, and I feel like I'm getting to know him even better in this movie. And he's just so great in comedy. And I know he prefers doing drama more. And so I feel fortunate that we get to have him again because he just delivers these lines with his intensity and they're so funny.
Dusty is pretty good with his hands.
Pretty good with my hand, Brad, she knows.
But I don't know if people give him enough credit for how funny he is and as a comedic actor as well.
But the Step King had learned Bruce Lee's fighting form, Kin Duck Ju.
Well, working with Will is just such a pleasant experience. He's just such a nice guy. You know, his comedy comes from a good place. He just enjoys making people laugh. And I always feel so comfortable around Will. So you just let go. You know he's gonna let go, so.
Come here. Come here. Not at the daddy-daughter dance.
You ready now?
Yeah.
You a professional?
I'm gonna defend my honor as a loving and caring father.
Are we talking to Dad off?
Dad off? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, we call it Dad Madness. Doritos Dad Bowl. How about Dad to the death?
You can call it whatever you want, but I'm gonna prove to you that I'm the best. I'm the most loving and caring father, all right? When it comes to that, I'm the real alpha male.
You just sacked up, Brad.
You can eat my dust, Dusty.
When I first arrive at the house, you know, I have a conversation with Brad and the kids, and then I ask if I can tuck the kids in, and we start our first kind of little duel of, you know, fairy tales about each other.
But the more the king learned about it, the more he doubted the Step King's ability to lead. So the king decided there was only one way to...
Hey, good story?
The jumping off point was this idea of a tooth fairy. You know, Brad would go in and put a shiny $50 or silver dollar. Dusty would show up and put a 20.
Good night, my little magical cherubs. Here comes some butterfly kisses. Sleep tight.
Hey, who wants goodnight tickles?
I almost forgot. My famous goodnight back scratches. Oh, so relaxing, so relaxing.
Who wants 20 bucks?
I
$20?
What?
You know, of course, Dusty sees no problem in promising them candy before they go to bed.
Hey, who wants some more Starburst and a couple of uncirculated silver dollars?
All these rules that are immediately broken that Brad has to try to navigate because these books have told him that you can't exclude the real dad. You have to ingratiate them and have them be a part of the family.
You just got so played out there.
I know it looks that way because I promised I would ask him to leave and then I invited him to stay for a week, but he didn't play me.
The books that he's read and his mid-management job at the Panda radio station, Brad thinks he can handle any situation. He can handle these kids. He can handle this tornado that's coming off a plane.
Hey, man, where you been?
It's really about Mark's character playing Will against himself. It's not so much, on the surface it seems like it's a back and forth thing, but really it's Mark's character immediately identifying Will's insecurity and preying on it. You know, and Will allowing that insecurity, his character's insecurity, to just send him into a tailspin.
I mean, that sacrifice she's making for you, that's true love.
Sacrifice?
You know how bad that girl wants another baby?
She wants another baby.
Dusty's almost a superhero. He can do no wrong. He can fix anything. He's very cryptic about these special ops missions that he goes off on. So you're a soldier?
Nope.
Oh, so you're a,
Yep.
Yep, what?
Oh, you don't want to know any more than that, Brad. Yeah, he seems to be very good at everything, and Brad doesn't know if he's being genuine in some of the stories that he's telling because they all seem a bit far-fetched. And they all are pretty much true, except for the fact that, you know, he's not good in the kitchen.
Our real dad is a super duper good cook.
Looks an awful lot like Cinnabon.
Well, thank you, Brad. What a nice thing to say.
So Brad's parenting style is very sort of by the books because he wants to do such a good job and he is sort of by the numbers and he really wants the children just to accept him and love him, and that's a hard battle for him at first. And then they start to come around and of course it gets disrupted by Dusty, who is You know, he's super dad when he comes in.
You can be anything you want, all right? But if you think Brad and I are gonna let you skate by just messing around on Mario Kart with your friends, you are sorely mistaken. You wanna play at that level, you gotta train hard. That means playing first thing in the morning, means playing late into the night.
No.
If you're playing late into the night, you're banging back a double deuce of Mountain Dew and a couple of Red Bulls because you gotta stay sharp and focused.
What? Well, they're the polar opposite. I mean, you know, Dusty's old school, you know, you gotta put your hands on somebody, put your hands on somebody. Brad is just the complete opposite, and it baffles Dusty to no end.
Was it the fourth graders again?
Fourth graders? Wait, you knew about this, Brad?
Yeah, Dylan asked to speak specifically to me about it.
Really?
So we role-played some conflict resolution dialogue.
Are you being serious right now, Brad?
I'm very much the PC, you know, new age, violence is not the answer, dad.
Honey, are you telling us that we should teach Dylan to dance?
I'm just saying that teaching him to fight isn't the answer.
Okay, but maybe teaching him to fight back isn't so bad?
And so I kind of get talked into going into the garage and we basically, more Dusty than me, teach Dylan how to defend himself.
Are you gonna throw the punch? I came over top of him like, BAM! It's called the element of surprise. Then you start punking his ass. You want some more of that, bitch? Huh? You like that, bitch?
I think that's one of the fun things about writing the script is how many situations can we put Brad in where he's, you know, knocked back on his heels and has to fight back. And I think it just really sets up Will for tremendous amounts of comedy, and it plays to Mark's strengths of coming in and dominating and, you know, just total upheaval.
You wanna put him down?
No, Brad! No! Don't kill our dog! I hate you!
You know, I brought a dog home, I built a treehouse, a skate ramp, keep doing all these things, so Will tries to one-up me and basically buys my daughter a pony.
Megan's big gift!
I
know, it's a pony! It's a pony, Dusty! A pony! Merry Christmas, Whitaker family.
But she gets fed up with both of them, you know? She's in the middle of all of these crazy hijinks and competition, which is, you can't really truly compete for anybody's love.
Good morning, Dusty.
Hey.
You're up and at 'em.
Yeah, I got up early and did a quick 20.
Really? 20 minutes of what?
Oh, 20 miles. Did a little light sparring, and then I whipped up a pan of piping hot cinnamon rolls for my family. And I made one for you, too.
Sure, we're competing, but at the same time, in the end, we kind of find a way to work this out and become how modern families work.
They both learn a lot from each other, so I think at the end you want to root for them to come together as opposed for one guy to win over the other.
Listen, all right, what if you help me knock this out, and then we're gonna patch up the damage from your little motorcycle mishap, so despite any prejudices that you may or may not have...
any prejudices.
All right, listen. I said may or may not. I said may or may not.
Okay.
School, they told us about this thing, and it's called a daddy-daughter dance. So, do you want to go with me?
So at the end of the movie, we finally show up at this daddy-daughter dance. Dusty's trying to flee, but I bring him back to say, you know, the only right thing is for both of us to go. And we find out that, once again, the fourth graders are picking on Dylan again.
Daddy! Brad, the fourth graders are here. They're picking on Dylan again. Today, we are in the daddy-daughter dance. I have to punch someone after my fake dads taught me because I'm being bullied at school.
You take a step with your right foot that way. There you go. And then take a punch.
And so now I have to punch someone. Your name is Olivia. Come on, come at...
Dylan!
Yes!
Oh, Dylan, what are you doing?
I punched her in the face just like you taught me.
What?
I swing my arm back and then I throw it.
Great.
You want some more, bitch?
That sets up a whole fight with other dads. You know, you taught your kid to punch girls. No, you never told us it wasn't a girl.
Like that?
Shouldn't have done that.
Yeah? Why?
I'm pretty sure he kills people for a job.
Her dad is now, you know, wanting to beat me up, and I don't know how to handle a conflict with anything other than physical confrontation.
Daddy?
But because of the fear and shock in my daughter's face and all these little girls' faces, that I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna take a page from Brad's book and I'm going to handle the conflict through dancing, which is my least favorite thing to do in film, but it was certainly right for the occasion.
Is this like some UFC shit? It's a dance, Jerry.
Yeah, so dance, Jerry.
That moment when Mark starts to dance, it says so much.
Yeah!
And he's taking Will's advice, you know, on how to model better behavior for the kids. Even though the audience they think it's fun that he's dancing and everything else, I feel like that they are feeling that this badass character has now learned a thing or two from Will's character and is going to be a better dad now. You know, whenever we play it in front of an audience, my favorite thing about it is that they don't wait for him to dance. The second Mark starts to move his head, they go nuts. And it's one of the best feelings I've ever had in a screening.
Bill, some challenging dancing?
Huh?
Like some challenging dancing?
This is challenging for me.
No.
About as challenging as it gets.
Hey, what's up? I'm Bill Burr. I play Jerry, and I get served in this film.
Bill Burr is just another guy who's just such a sharp, funny guy, and he really played the serious, perturbed dad really well.
He's threatening you, Jerry.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, hit my wife?
And then could do the gear change when it was all okay and we were all friends again.
You enjoying that? You eating that? You getting full? Huh?
Our first thought was, Mark's pretty ripped, like he's kind of a force. So the first thing we did was audition some guys that were just huge guys. It didn't seem real to us. And we thought, but whoever is going to be opposite Mark in this moment needs to be somebody who's got a real intensity about him.
No, it's Troy, I got this. He knows what he said.
Bill looks like he could be a crazy mother. Like Bill looks like he might be the kind of guy who might go toe-to-toe with a guy who looks like Mark and tear him up, you know, because he's so nuts. What we needed was some reality. We needed him to come in and ground the scene for us. He's a badass, so I think that's why it worked out.
You don't know this about me, Jerry, but I like to move my body. Get it, Brad?
Who's the best dancer out of all those guys? I'm gonna go with Mark pulls some pretty good moves. And he did some fancy footwork. Pretty impressive.
Get it, Brad?
Of course, Will, he just pulled out all the stops too. Two of them together as a dance duo is pretty good.
Sean couldn't help himself. He got in on a take, showing off his moves, and they were not bad. They were brief, but not bad.
Yeah, Sean he's got no moves at all. But he's also got no fear. That's the biggest thing, you know? You just gotta own it. You gotta own it. If you own it, you're good.
You know, Bill Burr came in, he had some moves. I think I'm the most creative, most innovative and earnest, dad-like dancing. And then Mark's like, okay, let's just do it. But then he's nailing it and doing these spins and kicks, and he summoned up some of that old school magic from the Marky Mark days, and it came out in full effect. And it was nice to see, even though he was reluctant to do any of it, but we got him there somehow.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, we'll have 5 minutes of game time, and in that time, we're just going to have really defined assignments. There should probably be one camera that never bothers with the game, that just has crosses from the game and just stays on our family, maybe moves over to Will, back to them, just holds that. We should probably have one or two that are favoring the gameplay, and then whenever anything good happens, popping over. The dream is that we get Kobe, you know, making some amazing shot, and then we come down to the family reacting to that.
Dusty and Brad, I've kind of been jousting throughout the movie. And at a certain point, Dusty makes it clear, like, no, I'm here to try to take my family back. And it's game on. So that ratchets up a level, and in an effort to kind of trump Dusty, Brad gets these amazing tickets to the Lakers game because Dylan is this huge Kobe fan, and Brad thinks he finally has it over on Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty, sorry I couldn't get you in the same aisle, row, so you're across the aisle, right over there. 2 seats in.
And then sure enough,
Dusty Mayron!
Hey, Marco! What's up? Excuse me, sir.
Dusty happens to know the strength coach for the Lakers, who invites them down on the floor of the court to meet Kobe.
What? You hear that? You want to meet Kobe?
Hey, bring the whole family down. You guys can sit with the team.
Hey, this is my little girl, Megan. She just invited me to her first daddy-daughter dance.
Wait. What did he just say?
Oh, buddy. Kobe?
No, that scalper gouged me for 18 grand, all right? I'm staying in these seats right here.
What?
Brad's just stuck there alone, so he proceeds to just get hammered.
Can I get some beers down here? Can I get 5 beers? Yeah.
Cut to his ticket's called to go out for the half-court shot.
My two favorite scenes, and they've been in the script, and scripts go through a lot of rewrites, but they've always kind of maintained, is the first time you meet Dusty at the airport, and then the basketball scene. And Will coming out playing drunk at the basketball game, trying to tell the audience immediately that he'll hurt anybody that goes near his family for no reason.
I love my family.
Right.
To do anything to them, I would hurt them. I would freaking hurt them.
Hey.
It's funny because in the script, it was his shot goes awry and hits a kid in a wheelchair. But what we decided to do was to really stage it live at a basketball game. And once that became a reality that we were going to be able to do that, we knew that people were only going to be seeing this little moment from the movie, and out of context, the hitting the kid in the wheelchair could feel really mean-spirited because they don't really understand what's going on in the story. So instead, we came up with the idea of, well, what if he hits a cheerleader? We got to start our day doing a scene with Kobe Bryant, and he couldn't have been cooler.
I'm Kobe Bryant. I play guard for the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'm here on set for Mark and Will's film. Gotta say, man, I'm not much of an actor, so the fact that I'm just coming over and doing a meet and greet like I normally would do makes me feel a lot better about being in the movie, I'll tell you that right now.
Kobe couldn't have been nicer. Did a whole scene where there wasn't even any written dialogue. I think we were just asking, he was just supposed to wave, and he was happy to do these lines. And
Name Ron, that's him. That's the guy right here. I told him. America, thanks, man. You're a legend, man. It's my first movie done on purpose. How about that? There've been other movies where they've shot at Staples Center and stuff like that, and I go and watch the movie, and I'm like, oh shit, that's me on. I'm in that movie.
Kobe walks in and we have him for like 10 or 15 minutes. And you know, we didn't even know if he can act, you know? And then we start and there he goes. Everything he did, completely natural, did everything I asked him to do in a row. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Guy's a superstar for a reason.
Yeah, they made it so easy and effortless. And, you know, I've known them both for a long time. Obviously, they're both big basketball fans, and one being a Boston fan, one being a Laker fan. But I've had so much respect for them from afar. And so it's a no-brainer for me to do this with.
Sitting there, waiting in those seats with that huge crowd of people, it was really kind of a rush because it's such a huge live audience, and making a film, you don't really get that kind of live audience response, so it was so much fun.
We didn't want to announce it for halftime. We wanted to just have the audience just see it unfold as though it was a real contest. But the Pelicans came to us and said, look, if you don't announce it, you're not going to have anybody in the arena because everybody's out using the bathroom and getting beers and whatever. And so I wrote an announcement that said, ladies and gentlemen, stick around at halftime. You know, shooting a scene from a Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell movie, and in the scene, Will needs to drain a half-court shot. He's been practicing for 3 months and believes he can do it on the first try. So what was fun about it was the audience was expecting to see Will nail this this half-court shot.
we had a 6-minute window to shoot this halftime scene, and Paul Scheer played our crazy DJ, and the audience had no idea that I'm gonna not only not make the half-court shot, but I'm gonna peg this cheerleader in the head.
All right, he's going for it, nothing but that.
So this is Taryn Terrell, and I'm Todd Bryant. I'm the stunt coordinator. Taryn is the stunt cheerleader, and she's a badass. How did that feel?
It stung. It definitely stung. And you know, it's funny because I took it and I'm down on the ground, and everybody in here thought it was the real thing and that I was definitely hurt. And so we hurried up and reset, and I'm all laid out on the ground, and I'm like, okay, ready to go again. So everybody was like, what is going on right now? now.
Yeah, the
And-
whole audience was just freaked out because
Yeah.
they saw this girl get smacked in the face and they thought it was a real basketball.
All right, I am here with Mike, the prop master, and thank goodness because I have 2 balls here. Could take both of them to the face, but one of them's a little harder than the other one. This one, that's a real basketball. This one, you can probably even hear the difference, is a little bit more floppy. So thanks to you, you can have the hard one back. This one is the one that actually hits my face.
We sent it out to a company and they mold it, cast it. It's just a shell, so it actually compresses and the air comes back out.
I mean, it still doesn't feel great.
No, it
Don't
still
get me
hurts.
wrong.
Everyone was convinced he had just drilled her in the face with a real basketball. And we even got some criticism the next day when it went viral about how mean it was to throw this real hard basketball into this girl's face, which made me so happy because we pulled off of this Texas switch where the MC rips the real ball out of Will's hands, and then Will goes, ah, and then he turns around and grabs another ball from the ball boy. And
This one's for Dylan and Megan and Sarah and Dylan.
it's a little magic trick that people just don't notice, a little sleight of hand. She did go down hard, and she did it twice that night.
I'm so happy that I was able to beam our stunt woman in the face twice consecutively. It's fun to shoot in these kind of live atmospheres because it gives you the energy and the momentum. And there's something about having to get it right that forces everyone to focus up, and a lot of times, you know, it just goes to show that maybe we take too many takes in movies. We should just do 2 takes for every scene from now on.
Who's got next?
I do.
Brad! Oh my God!
Don't touch him, don't touch him. All right, we're here in Brad's backyard. Brad has just discovered that not only did I make a treehouse with a zip line, but I've also put in a major ramp here.
Who'd like to see how we used to do it back in Dogtown?
I'm supposed to be good enough to jump off a roof and go down a half pipe, which is kind of an incredible feat.
So it could be something like this, where I go, and then shove the board 180. Hey, I'm Tony Hawk here with Mike McGill, legendary pro skateboarder, and we are here on the set, Daddy's home, doing the stunts here.
Well, I'm stunt doubling Mark Wahlberg, and of course, Tony's stunt doubling Will Ferrell. My arms aren't as pumped up, but getting there.
It's cool. You all you had to do is work out, and then all I had to do was wear a suit.
Exactly.
I had the easier part of that.
So I got to hire Tony Hawk and Mike McGill to double Mark Wahlberg. Those 2 guys are members of the Bones Brigade, the most popular skateboarding team pretty much in history. And these guys are like the top skateboarders in the world. So I get to skateboard with them. I get to ride their skateboard, and I was just in heaven.
We are walking to the backyard facade right now. That's not a real house. Is that crazy? Here's the ramp. It's about half the size than what we were used to, but we're making it work. And Mike McGill is here doing stunts for Mark Wahlberg. Hi, Mike. Here's the interior of the house. And that's it. There's no interior. So here's the set. And I'm excited to be here.
First person I thought of was him. Look at the height. I mean, we're perfect, right?
Except for you look like Will Ferrell. I don't really look like him.
You did with the helmet on.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that works. So he took the electrocution. I took the bounce. And together, it will be the ultimate fall.
3, 2, 1, action!
Oh my God, Brad!
So Tony rode off the roof. He was having a great time. And then the other thing I needed Tony Hawk for was to skateboard into the half pipe and do one of his famous tricks, which was a McTwist invented by Mike McGill. And we were going to match Tony's movements to me on a wire, again, doubling Will and going up into the electrical wires and getting shocked and basically dying and coming down really hard into the half pipe.
Go!
That was very surreal having Tony Hawk double me. It's not like we're really showing off Tony Hawk's amazing skateboard skill, nor does anyone know. He's dressed as me, so no one knows it's him, so. How many stitches?
8. Good? I never, people always say stitches like that's badge of honor. I got stitches,
man. 8 stitches sounds pretty good to me. I mean, considering you weren't expecting
to get any
stitches,
yeah.
So you walk away with 8, right?
Mission accomplished.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Okay, but I still hate the Step King though. Me too. Long live the real king.
Okay. Yay! Yeah. You know what? It's getting late. Come on.
Most movies, when the kids come to set, the crew kind of wilts. You know, like, oh boy, you know, kid time.
I never hurt my arms either.
And whenever Scarlett and Owen would be marched into set, the entire crew would just light up because they were so sweet and they were just such good kids and they had really good parents that were really keeping them grounded and, you know, they weren't spoiled little actor kids with stage parents.
Catch me! Catch me!
Catch me!
Catch me! My character, she is, her favorite color is purple and she loves unicorn. I think it's sweet that he's crying like a little bitch.
Hey! You do not use that word.
Even if they're acting like that word. My character is obsessed with the Lakers and he isn't really a rough kid. He's kind of meek like me. My dad can bring people back from the dead.
It's always such a vital, tricky thing in the casting of kids. It's hard. I feel bad for a lot of kid actors because I think they've been coached into bad habits a lot of times, or maybe they're habits that actually work for certain types of either shows or commercials and that, but we're always looking for just realistic kids who don't feel like they're acting at all.
Kick them in the nuts.
Kick him in the nuts.
There were 2 auditions with Scarlett, and I'm just sitting here trying to throw her curveballs, but there was one part where there were 4 lines of dialogue, and I said, say the first 2 sentences, skip the 3rd one, and say the 4th one. Now, if you say that to any actor, any professional actor, here's what they'll do. They'll go, okay. Okay, got it. Yep, got it. And then they'll do it. She did not hesitate. Okay, I got a trick for you. Can you do that again, but don't say who's Brad? Just skip who's Brad and just go right from me and Dylan and Brad are about to eat dinner. And then say, oh, Brad's dad, mommy's husband. Okay, give that a try. Action.
Hi, Dad. Yeah, no, I'm good. Where are you? Where's Cameroon? Is that gunfire? Cool.
Daddy, I want to talk to Daddy. Hi, Daddy. Good? No. Me, Dylan, Mom, and Brad are about to eat dinner. Brad's mommy's husband.
You're amazing.
Yeah, you are amazing.
They're very sweet and earnest, which, you know, it's a perfect canvas for feeding them lines to say horrible things to Brad.
Besides, you know what happens to old dogs at shelters? He's gonna have to walk the green mile as soon as he gets there.
No, Brad, no! Don't kill our dog! I hate you!
Kids are great. Scarlett, God, I told her yesterday, I said, you're literally my favorite actor in the world that I've ever worked with.
My favorite.
Yay!
Every once in a while, you gotta remind them, hey, that we are making a movie, but they got great energy, they're very well prepared, so they can have fun in between takes and bounce around and play, and then they just jump right back into it.
Yo, Dylan, PS4 is all hooked up.
Thanks, Uncle Chris!
No problem, buddy. When I saw his 2 kids, I was like, one of these kids is gonna be a way better actor than me. And it turns out both of them are.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
But tough. The other day, we're sitting at doing the scene around the birthday table, and they're like, let's do a laughing contest, see who, and could not make them laugh. And they were kind of looking at each other like, he's not funny. You're terrible at this game. No filter. Yeah, I was making Linda laugh, but not them. They were just like...
Looks like it's time to dance with the devil. It was really about Megan worried about her father's not coming to the daddy-daughter dance. And I have to punch someone in the face. Yeah. And then the embarrassing part is at the end, my dad takes off his shirt.
And that is a picture wrap on Owen and Scarlett. When I made the announcement near the end of shooting that it was their last day, the whole crew was so sad. And I asked the crew, I made a little announcement, and I said, have you ever seen two better kids on any movie ever?
I'm Hannibal Buress, thespian. They call me the New Age Daniel Day-Lewis. First call, I think that Craig Robertson wasn't available. Everybody has to call me by my character name. You can't call me Hannibal, you have to call me Griff, the handyman. It calls for some tense times on set for a little, but everybody's used to it and everybody's cool. This guy, he's on board with it. He always calls me Griff.
Hey, Griff.
Character is Griff. The tone of it just sounds like, just stuff that I do already. He might be dead. He deserved to die. I wouldn't weep, but I might shed one single tear. I don't miss him that much. It'd be like if one of the dudes from Belle Biv DeVoe died. I would be a little sad, but I get over it in 3 days. I said I would only do the movie if I make the same amount of money that Mark Wahlberg is making.
Dude, if another song comes on, you gotta pause it, okay?
Am I supposed to pause my emotions?
Just pause the song, man.
Look at that. That's movie magic. That's not a house. They just made it look like
soy
a house.
latte, 1.5 pump chai.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Yeah. Going for the Oscar on this one. There's always some bullshit going on in that house.
God, man. You wanna go to Red Roof Inn?
Let's do it.
Is that Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yes, sir.
Will had mentioned his name when we were, kind of in the early stages. And I pulled up some videos on YouTube and I was like, oh man, it made us completely rethink the character of Griff.
Please allow me to pay you for your time and travel.
Don't do me any favors, Paula Deen.
We'd always liked the idea of this guy who Mark sort of tricks into creating this animosity between Brad and Griff. But when Hannibal came in, you could see a lot of people doing it with a lot more anger and a lot more bravado. And Hannibal, by just being low key, but still angry with Will and still kind of, it was just so much more fun and more interesting.
Just anything you can throw at him.
Brad, I hope you wake up illiterate tomorrow.
Yeah, Hannibal is so good. He's one of the best comics working right now because he's got this offbeat energy. We can just throw him into a scene and he can just say, while we're getting exposition out, he can just say an odd line and everyone just looks at him like, what? Why is Griff still in our house?
Hey, you got any sweet potatoes? Or yams? Sweet potatoes or yams?
Griff, you know we have yams, all right? You made me buy them for you.
I wanted to respect your house by asking you before I got the yams. I didn't just want to go grab yams.
The great thing about watching Hannibal as he's playing Griff is he sits back and picks his moments.
Damn straight. You gotta make a statement, set a tone.
You know what? It's kind of a family matter over here.
And he occasionally is on Will's side, but it's in order to push Will further to make stupid decisions.
I really don't like you, but that shit was heartbreaking.
Comics a lot of times live for those laughs and they will put their backs into the comedy just trying to just push to get it. And when you see somebody like Hannibal who just lets it happen, it can be way more effective that way. And that's the thing. I think that's why he's breaking out like he is, because he's the kind of guy who lets it come to him.
I just came up here to say that you should have good luck.
Well, thank you for your wishes of luck.
Thank you for your wishes of luck, which was not in the script, And that's the great thing about Hannibal is that he has a way, like, who would say that? Who would say thank you for your wishes of luck? But he has a way of turning a phrase in a really sincere way.
If you need anything, just holler. Just ask loudly. I'll be downstairs.
I'll do all three.
You know, another favorite line of mine in the entire movie is there's a moment where Hannibal says, "That sounds like pure nonsense."
Can we do that? Gruff, can you storm out? And Brad, you go after him?
I don't really want any part of that. That sounds like pure nonsense to me. Right. I'd rather not.
What he's commenting on is, I think Hannibal himself is right, that what we're talking about at that moment in the movie does sound like pure nonsense.
You have to make him a bitch. It's a fundamental step in destroying a bully's psyche. Now stay down, bitch! And you kick that kid right in the nuts. Kick him in the nuts, Dylan.
Wait, I thought you were in my gang.
Yeah, but once Dylan tunes you up, I switch sides.
What do you think happens out there in the playground, Brad?
And having to walk right into these scenes with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, I mean, I can't imagine. That would terrify me. But he's got such a laid-back vibe about him in real life and on screen that you don't get the sense from him that he's nervous at all, you know, that he just seems like, you know, he walks right into it. He just feels completely, you know, at home.
Yeah, he's one of the top 5 reproductive endocrinologists in the country.
We were joking after our first couple of screenings, the movie played great, but every time Hannibal opened his mouth, people were losing their minds. And we were joking, walking out of the theater, that maybe we should just call the movie Griff's Home, you know?
But is it so bad to teach him to fight back?
The letter sounds so fresh. And then one day the king received word that his dominion was being ruled over by some curly-headed step-king with good credit.
Oh no!
When I first arrive at the house, you know, I have a conversation with Brad and the kids, and then I ask if I can tuck the kids in, and we start our first kind of little duel of, you know, fairy tales about each other.
But the more the king learned about it, the more he doubted the step-king's ability to lead. So the king decided there was only one way to... Hey, good story?
Yeah, the king finally came back to his castle. But the evil step king wouldn't give him his crown back.
Brad kind of keeps overhearing Dusty telling bedtime stories. And then finally, Brad has had enough and jumps in there. Chris Henchey and Adam McKay had written all these alts that we didn't really have down. We just kind of did them that day. And that was fun because Mark lost it.
And then he grabbed him in a chokehold and choked the crap out of him.
But the Step King had learned Bruce Lee's fighting form, Kin Duck Ju.
He's usually so controlled, so to see him kind of just lose his mind and not being able to recover is fantastic.
But the Step... Jeet Kundo. Okay. But this... Jack Kundu, right? Jack Kundu. Jeet Kundo. Do? Jet Kundu. Jet Kundu. Jeet Kundo.
Do.
Oh, Jack Kundu. Jack Kundu. Jack Kundu. Jack Kundu. The Step King had learned Bruce Lee's fighting form, Kin Duck Ju. The Step King.
Okay, let's go.